What's up, guys? Bonafide Hustler here.
Rake and Profit in the house.
Hey guys, it's Nicole.
All right, so this is a long-awaited show. This is going to be really fun. Anyways, welcome to the Green Room Hangout. It's a Wednesday night live show. I'm the Bonafide Hustler, and we all know what I do, and I don't want to bore anyone with my intro because I really want to get to the guest today. I think it's going to be fascinating. Rakin, what is going on?
You broke the intro, man?
I broke the intro, dude.
Oh, okay, all right. I'll take the intro.
Yeah,
Steve Rakin, Rake and Profit on YouTube, 29 years old, sell on eBay, Amazon, my own e-commerce store now, and a couple other things. Quit my job 4 years ago and love making money online. What can I say? Who do we got to my left?
Well, I'm Nicole State. I sell full-time on eBay, and I have a YouTube channel, State's Place, and I'm super excited about tonight, guys. Thank you so much for having me on.
Thanks for coming on. Super welcome. Now, Nicole, before we get into like the nitty-gritty of like where you live and what do you do and all that kind of stuff, you agreed you're going to bring some heat, though. What does heat in Nicole's book mean?
Okay, when you asked me to come on, I said, how many people have you had ever? Like, what's your most live viewers? You said 447, and I said, we're going to hit 500.
Whew.
Because I like to compete with myself, like that's how you get things done. You compete with yourself, you push yourself. And so all week long, I've been promoting, been asking people to come over and hang out with us. We have some really good questions tonight. I'm super excited. So I think we're going to hit it.
You ever hear that Drake song 0 to 100 real quick? You know what I'm talking about? The
No.
rapper Drake. Everyone knows that song, 0 to 100 real quick. Okay. There's a song called 0 to 100 real quick. We're 0 to 162 real quick. This is the fastest we've gotten to 162 already, 165 and 70 likes. You really do bring the heat. Your followers are super loyal. I'm actually very, very interested in interacting with you and getting some of these questions answered in the feed. First things first, guys, we got to make sure our sound is good. Okay, that's important. We don't want to run through an hour of this show and the sound sucks. So check. Rakin, you sound good to me. Nicole?
Hey, guys.
I think we sound good. So, oh, man, Stephanie Jennings saying you'll hit 500 plus, I am sure. And I see Joe State in the feed. We have Reezy Resales. We got a lot of big players in here. Okay, so Nicole, you clearly have risen to a YouTube star lately, right?
I mean,
quickly,
I guess.
Quick. How can people find you, Nicole, right now?
Right now, my two main places that you can find me are YouTube. I release a daily vlog, and the vlog is about reselling, but it also has a lot of just my family and like behind the scenes and what it's really like to be a full-time reseller. And then on Instagram, the Instagram community is really my home, and I post there probably 10 or 15 times a day. I'm really, really active over there.
10 to 15 times.
I'm not even kidding. I tried to find the Green Room post like a week ago. I had to scroll like way down because she had like, anyway.
I love it. It's great. And it's growing really fast over there for me. So I'm just having a fun time with it.
So not to brag or anything, but you're at like 10K. Don't you have like the K now on your like symbol?
Yeah, I hit that. I don't like to brag, guys. It is what it is. We're just having fun.
Like, I saw your vlog where you're like, it's pretty cool to have a K at the end of like your number, right? It's not like 5,000, but you have a K now, right?
That's weird. It's a weird thing for me, for sure.
I gotta get a K. Rakin, we have to get Ks one day, man.
Well, that's why
I gotta start getting one, man.
How about now? That's what I told the Instagram community to bring the heat tonight, because maybe that would show you two that you need to start coming over to Instagram more.
Ooh. I'm pretty sure we need to be there more. I do it a lot for my other channel, but no, 10 times a day or something. That's awesome. Honestly, like you're gonna be at probably 100 Ks pretty quickly, Nicole. I can see this happening pretty quick.
It's just a number. It's just a number.
Yeah, but man, if you do 10 things, Rakin, if you do 10 small goals a day towards your overall big picture, I mean, how much, dude? It won't take very long before you become something completely amazing. I mean, that everyone knows about, right?
Mm-hmm.
10 things. I mean, I can't accomplish 5 things that I really want to get done in a day. But anyway, okay, let's get into Nicole. First of all, how can people find you on Insta? Is it at State's Place? Is that what it is?
Yeah, State's Place everywhere, basically. So State's Place.
Okay, State's Place. See, I type in Nicole State, and that's right. It brings the State's Place YouTube, right? Is that what it is? Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay, where do you live, Nicole?
Oh, hold on. We got to talk about the contest. We didn't do that, guys.
He always forgets every single time he
500.
forgets. I'm typing in the chat. He'll just ignore the chat. He won't
I don't
look
see
at
the chat, man. I'm so I want to see the feed more. Okay, so check this out. You guys have to definitely pay attention for this show for 2 reasons. Okay, there are 2 prizes coming out at the very end. One, pay attention to everything Nicole says this entire show, because the winner of that, oh, you'll see. There's a really good prize at that one. So pay attention to everything that comes out of her mouth. The second thing is there's a link down below, right? Right below this video is a link that says get 100 amazing items to resell for free. It's our guide right here. And one of our questions to win a big prize is going to be from this guide. So get it right now. It might take 10 or 15 minutes for it to download on your computer, or you get the link and all that kind of stuff. It's a PDF. Just put it on your computer and get ready to rock and roll at the end of the show, because we got 2 good questions coming out. One's going to be from Nicole's content, and one is going to come from our guide right up there. So first link down below, that's how you get the guide so you can participate in the contest. The contest is going to be really good. So, all right, did I do a good job, guys? Nicole, did I do a good job?
No, because you forgot that we have to hit 500 people.
Oh, you keep saying that. Okay, so we got to try to get 500
You
people.
got her game, though, today with her with
Dude.
the contest.
I like to
500
compete.
people.
Look at, I think everyone should know, if you want to improve yourself, you got to compete with yourself. And so I'm never competing with anyone else. I'm competing with myself, and I set goals, and I like to smash them, as you would say.
Do you smash or compete with Joe?
Oh yeah, like all day.
So y'all are always like competitive. Do y'all are rock, paper, scissors each other for random things?
I do with my kids.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, but not
Yeah.
with him.
Now, Nicole, when you're in the thrift store, are you guys going after the same thing?
Joe doesn't really thrift necessarily. He will, and he'll just do his own thing, but he's not like a big thrifter by any means.
Okay, but he is appearing on your. I saw him do almost a solo vlog the other day on your channel, right?
Yeah,
It seemed like it was all him, right?
Yeah, I was really sick, and so I was like, you just got to do it. We got to put out the content that we promised. So he did a solo vlog of him. He has a tattoo apprenticeship, and so he did a solo vlog of just him at that tattoo thing, and it was good. I mean, Joe has like his own audience that he plays to. He does shipping. He does all of our shipping, and so he does like what sold and shipping videos. And sometimes I'm like, wow, there's like a whole different viewership that he has than I have. It's really interesting.
Okay. Now we're going to get into the comment feed for 1 second. If you're here, just type in Nicole. I want to see how fast the Nicole's blast up on this comment feed. And we're going to get into the first question, which is, where do you live? First of all, where do you live?
So I live in Portland, Oregon, and well, right outside of Portland, Oregon. I actually live about 5 minutes away from Nike World Headquarters.
Oh, wow. I like
Which
Nike
is-
shoes.
Yeah, it's a huge thing for reselling up here. I mean, I find the craziest Nikes.
Really? Like,
Yeah.
oh, wow. Like, not experimental. Or there's no way. They have to destroy the experimental ones, but like.
No, they don't. They
They
donate them.
don't?
Really?
I get samples. All I have gone into Goodwills and seen an entire rack of nothing but new tag Nike like prototypes that they didn't release.
Do those do well,
Whoa.
the samples? I don't have a lot of experience
No.
with.
It really doesn't. It's very hit or miss. I recently found two different tennis dresses that were actually made for players, and so those did well, of course. But like samples, it's pretty hit or miss. It's very depending on what it is.
Wow. I wonder, is it because you don't know what the sample is? You can't call the shoe anything because it doesn't really exist? Is that what it is, you think?
Yes and no. It just depends on if it's like a popular style. You know, like if it's a fly knit, like an Oreo fly knit, of course it's going to do well no matter what, you know. If it's already something popular, it's going to do well. But if it's just like a random t-shirt, it's just a random t-shirt, right? Like no one really cares.
Yeah, you said Oreo Flyknit. The last Oreo Flyknit I bought was like $10, sold for like 90 in like an hour. It was so fast. But if you try to buy a mint Oreo and Flyknit right now, they're like $200.
Yeah.
They're super expensive. Anyway, and yeah, go look up Flyknit 5.0s or just Nike Chucka Flyknit, and you'll be like, holy crap, there's so many weird colors. But the Flyknit Oreos are really awesome.
The black and white, yeah.
Yeah, they're super neat. Okay, so you definitely have a family, husband, right? Joe?
Yep, Joe State, that's my husband. And then I have 2 kids. I have Des and Delilah. They are almost 8 and 4, which is weird. And yeah, I mean, most of my days are just spent hanging out with them. And we're very into, we're in the PTA and like volunteering at school and doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah, because in your vlogs, you show not just reselling, you show a lot of stuff. I mean, it's like your daily kind of life and shopping and getting food and right? Am I
Yeah,
correct?
like I feel like sometimes with resellers, people don't see us as real people. Like they just see us as these like these people who buy used things and sell them. So there's not a lot of like behind the scenes, like, hey, I'm a real person. Like I am a human and I have a family and this is what we do. And we're not hoarders. Like we don't have a house full of stuff. Like it's just nice to show that aspect of the reselling world. And so that's what we're going to do.
You rarely ever see that in YouTube videos ever. Like, and that's one thing I've always tried to do is incorporate like different parts of my life, like fitness and stuff. But I think that's cool, you know, because it shows a different side of you, right? And I think it helps. I think that's one of the reasons why you have such a strong following as well, because it's not just reselling. They get to really connect with you on different levels. So yeah, that's super cool.
Yeah, and then I mean, the other thing I wanted to touch on, just because I know that you guys are really into this, is that we're vegan. I went vegan like a year and a half ago, and I've lost 100 pounds since then. So like,
wow,
that is a big part of our life too. So yeah, it's crazy.
You're like full vegan, 100%?
Yeah, I'm ethical vegan, so I don't even wear leather anymore. Joe is not ethical; he just eats vegan, so he still wears like leather boots and stuff.
Do you eat a lot of raw vegan or?
No, I mean, I still eat a bunch of stuff I shouldn't, but
it's easy. It's still easy. When I used to tell people I was vegan, because I was vegan for over a year and I was vegetarian for a couple of years, they used to think like, what do you eat? Like, there's a lot of foods you could eat vegan, and you could gain weight as a vegan pretty easily if you wanted to.
Oh, it's so the difference is that you can't go through drive-thrus and get burgers, or
Right.
you can't eat a bunch of junk like that. But I eat donuts all the time and other things.
The desserts in the vegan aisle, or like just go on YouTube and type in like vegan desserts, like they're pretty good. They're really good actually.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But yeah, so that's been like my journey as well over the last year or so, is losing weight. And it's weird. It's a weird thing, and it was a slow process, and it was all about just eating right and taking care of myself, and it wasn't ever about like hitting a number for me. It was really about just being healthy.
Do you feel that that's had a positive impact on your business, losing the weight? And
absolutely, I have so much more energy now. Like so everyone's like, where do you get all your energy? And I'm like, well, I just eat right. Like I give my body what it needs, and it's amazing what it does for you.
I like that. That's good. That's like no part of this outline, but like I really want that. Now I'm like really excited to like, because I see parts of your vlogs, right? And you do a lot of interesting things on your vlogs. One of the questions I had for you, Nicole, this is off the outline, but did you start your YouTube channel with vlogs as a premise, or did you just start with eBay flipping kind of stuff? And did it morph into your like life kind of thing?
It was totally eBay flipping, and then it morphed into my life when I realized that that's the direction I wanted to go, probably just a few months ago, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I feel like my channel has taken the same kind of turn as well. And I'm just, it's a lot of fun to show them everything, right? And you're right. I mean, we're different kind of people behind the scenes, and we love thrifting and we love all that. We love a lot of other things too, family included, pets, dogs, all that kind of stuff. And so my channel has kind of done the same turn as well. And I know it wards off some people, if they come to your channel for one thing and then you morph into something else a little bit, it can get some people slightly irritated. But as a content creator, you get to make those kind of choices on YouTube, and you have to do what's best for you. And if you like taking the vlog camera everywhere, and there's a story behind everything, and there's a learning thing behind everything too, right? Raising your kids on a better diet and all that kind of stuff. I mean, that's a huge, powerful thing that you can be known for outside of reselling too later on, right?
Yeah, and I mean, just doing the right thing with your life and being a positive influence. That's really what I'm all about.
Yeah. Well, we're about the same exact thing, that's for sure. So let's talk about...
I think we broke our website. I think the people broke our website. The link doesn't work anymore.
There's no way, dude.
Yeah, I'm testing it right now as we speak, so I'm going to be quiet for a couple minutes, but I think Nicole brought the heat and broke our website, but I'm not sure.
Hey, you guys, wait, hold on. We're at 373, you guys, and we're only 15 minutes in.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So, hey, if you guys really want these contests to come quick and at the very end, for sure, guaranteed, share the video. It seems like that even if like a third of the people share the video, we'll be there in like 2 seconds. So real quick, before we get into the nitty gritty eBay questions, I want to ask you about your family. I want to ask you about Joe and your 2 kids, right? What do you guys like to do for fun, and what are the hobbies? Like when outside of the reselling and maybe outside of the vlogs, like what do you guys really, really enjoy to do? Doing?
I mean, nothing. I saw that on the outline and I was like, I don't know. Today we went sledding. Like, it's really just, we can do whatever we want, whenever we want, like we live in a big city. So we you know, we do go to all the like children's museums and different fun things like that. We're really into hanging out with each other, which sounds super cheesy and corny, but I really like, I just want to like work and hang out with my family. That's it.
That's not cheesy at all. That's what most people need to do. That's like the best thing to do. There's nothing corny about that at all. I bet you if I asked the feed right now, is that corny to spend time with your family and love your family and want to be around them all the time? I don't think that's corny at all. That's like a super like relationship goal, honestly. Okay, so let's get into okay. Last question that's not on the outline. I have to ask this because you said Portland, and now I'm like, we got something amazing from Portland here. I have two parts of this question. One is Voodoo Donut all the rage, or is it overrated? Yes or no? Oh, someone lives in Portland says it's not that good. Okay.
Okay, but my BFF is opening up a donut shop, and so of course I gotta say that. And there's Blue Star Donuts, so if you ever come to Portland, Blue Star is where it's actually at.
Okay, it's actually at Blue Star. Okay, and Joe State says super overrated. Okay, I see it in the feed now. The other question is, did you get a piece of the Portland Airport carpet?
No, it's gross. People put their feet all over that.
But it's like it's an artistic thing. It's like a super artistic carpet.
I think Joe has a hat with the print on it, but like cool. That's as far as we go. Okay.
I just want to know because I've always wanted a piece of that carpet because it's like super iconic.
Oh yeah, I have pictures of my feet in that carpet for sure.
Oh, that's like all over Instagram, people's feet on that carpet. Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about eBay real quick. In all the realm of opportunities, you know, Amazon, there's wholesale, there's you know, private label, there's creating your own merch stuff, there's Shopify store, there's all kinds of stuff. So why eBay in a realm of all these reselling options?
Okay, so I sell used clothing. And there's really not a better spot as far as used clothing goes. Like you can't really take used clothing and sell that on Amazon. You can't really take used clothing and sell it on a, you know, it's a really good spot for used clothing, which you can get extremely cheap. It's a really good entry point into the reselling world. And then I've always just had a passion for clothes. Like I wanted to be a buyer when I grew up. Essentially, I wanted to go to FDM and learn about how to become a fashion buyer, and it's just always been my thing.
So more specifically, your eye on women's clothing is just like uncanny, right? Like you've got a good eye, correct?
Yeah, I've trained myself, but I've always been into fashion, and that's going to help you, you know?
Okay, cool. So was that what got you started into eBay itself? Was just the whole fashion thing and the low cost and getting into eBay? That was because you left a good job that you were getting paid a good amount of money in, right?
Yeah, so I before that good job, I worked for a resale clothing store, and I did that. I managed it for about 8 years. So I knew a lot about reselling clothing, and it was children's clothing, but I knew how to like look over things and learn about brands. And they did have an eBay store, so I knew all about that stuff. And then I got into the corporate world, and I had a really good job in the education field. The problem was I have a son with autism, and he really needed, when he started kindergarten, we were getting phone calls every day like, hey, you got to come down to the school. Hey, this stuff is happening with Des. And at that point, I needed to own my own time. And you can't do that when you have a big corporate job with meetings and things you have to attend and deadlines. It just doesn't work that way. So I knew eBay. I always sold on the side a little here and there. We all like extra money. And so I said, well, this is it. It took me about a month to hit about $2,000 in sales. And then I quit my job, and I haven't looked back.
Okay, it took you 1 month to hit $2,000 in sales, or 2,000 take home, or 2,000 in sales?
In sales, not take home, but I was only shopping at the bins, so my overhead was so minimal at that point.
That you were just making like 60% or 50% on just about it.
Yeah, my overhead was probably like 30% after shipping and fees and stuff.
Okay, cool. So that's what got you started in eBay, and now you're full steam ahead, about 600, 700. What are you at in your eBay store now? Something like that?
Yeah, I vary between 600 to 700 items. You don't have to have a big store to do a big amount of money on eBay. You just have to, I mean, at least for me, it's for me, I do quantity. So like, I just want to sell as much stuff as quickly as I can.
Okay, cool. And there are a lot of people that are saying, there's so many people in the comment feed that are engaging with this video real quick. And I saw an interesting comment fly by that was saying, like, if you like Nicole State, you're going to like this other person on YouTube as well. So while we can come to a very quick, brief stopping point, Nicole, who is your inspiration on YouTube when it comes to the reseller out there? Like, who are you like, okay, I'm a good reseller, but I look up to this one, or I watch their videos? Who is it?
Gosh, I watch a lot of videos, you guys. That's a hard one.
This person, I'll tell you, this person uploads and you're like, oh, that's it, stopping, and I'm watching it. This is like,
okay, I listen to the Scavenger Life every weekend. Like, I love that podcast. I love what they're doing, Scavenger Life, and I think we've all, we all listen to the Scavenger Life. They just have such a good story. I've been Resells has been a huge person for me lately. So those two people are probably my end all be alls. Yeah, those two right now. It's hard. Okay. It's a hard question.
I saw Reezy in here earlier, so hopefully he's still around and he's going to be all like, maybe he's blushing right now or like he's just red in the face or something.
I think he sent a bunch of people over here.
Ooh. So you didn't bring all the heat. It looks like Reezy brought all the heat. No. Anyway, there he is. I see him. All right. No, honestly, you're at 412. So you're getting close to breaking the 447. We're getting close, man. Nicole State Posse is about to destroy this. They already broke our website, so we're gonna see what happens after this. Maybe we'll shut the whole show down. You never know. Might be too many people in here. So you don't engage with Amazon, right? And
no, but I'm going to start, I think.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Okay,
so how are you gonna do that then?
Well, Mr. Reezy over here has been trying to get me to start on Amazon, and I think he's going to teach me, and we might be doing like a collaboration show together where we do like, I'm teaching him about eBay, he's teaching me about Amazon.
Oh, that's
and we
cool.
have this little back and forth thing that we do every week together. So I bought a book scanner today from him.
Ooh, you're getting serious. You're going to go straight for the goal. You're going straight, man. She's not even messing with this like app in the middle thing. She's going straight to the scanner.
No, you don't mess with stuff like that if you really want to learn. Like you spend it was $50. It was like a refurbished one. You spend the $50 and you learn how to do it.
Megan, what did she get? She got that KDC 22.
Yeah, I think it's the KDC. That's probably like the best one to get on a budget, and it's gonna pretty much do what you want. So she's going right for the speed, the efficiency. She's cutting out the middleman, and she's learning from someone who's already succeeded, and I think that's very, very smart. Network and associate with people who are already, getting to those levels that you want to get to, and she's learning from one of the best. Reezy, I mean, the guy, I think he's done what he did like over $500,000 or more just selling books this year, which is crazy. And according to Gary Vaynerchuk, his name's Resells. So Resi, big shout out to you, man.
Back to me, I'm going to teach him how to sell on eBay. So like his eBay numbers are sad and lonely. And I'm like, all right, well, if you help me with Amazon, I'll help you, learn how to touch a piece of clothing and know if it's going to sell or not.
Okay. Well, that's a pretty good deal because it's basically like, I'll show you an income stream. So if Amazon crashes, like you can have fun with this, and then he's going to show you one. And if eBay gets boring for you or something, you can just mess with Amazon. That's kind of good. That's a good trade-off in my book. Anytime someone shows you like a different stream of income, like that's just amazing, period. Especially if they take it and run with it. It sounds like you're totally running with it. Raken, how is it night and day difference when you have this KDC scanner? Like how crazy was the difference once you got everything linked up and the database downloaded and everything? How fast was it?
I mean, you go from just being able to go out there and get a few books to being able to just demolish anybody out there who has a phone. Like you can move 10 times quicker. And the name of the game with the books is scanning as many as you can, because you'll go 20, 30, 40 books sometimes, depending on where you live, without getting a winner. So, 30, 40 books or even 25 books could take you a while, just, one by one, versus just having, the Nicole State KDC shotgun, like just going right through. So, well, that's more like a machine gun, but
it could be a Tommy gun, actually.
It's the way to go. She's doing the right thing. So
that's good. So yeah, he's gonna link you up with, was it Nito scan? What is it? Raken? The one
FBA scan?
FBA
probably.
Scan. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Well, that's gonna be interesting. I can't wait to see the vlogs on that when you get started on that.
Yeah, it should be good. It should be good. I think the show that Reezy and I are gonna put together is gonna be fun to, learn off of each other.
As long as you don't get any death piles, you know what? I'm really proud of you, Nicole, because in your video not too long, maybe a week ago, you're like, you want to see my death pile? And you pan the camera over and there was this tiny pile on the floor. I was like, dude, that's something to be really proud of. Like all she had was this tiny pile on the floor, and that was like, that's all my unlisted inventory. I was like, that is pretty cool.
I don't believe in death piles. I think that that's money wasting away. I do not believe in that. And
No, you said it perfect. Like, what did you exactly say on that video? You said something so dead on that it was like, would you just take money and then put it on the floor?
yeah.
What did you say?
Probably like, would you just throw money in a pile on the floor and let it sit there? You know, and that's what you're doing. You're spending money on all of this stuff, and then you're wadding it up and throwing it to the side.
It's so true. Like, you can literally walking back past money, but you can't pick it up unless it's listed. Like, it's not converting. It's just money on the floor, and you're walking around money on the floor. The way you said it was dead on. I was like, that's a pretty good way to look at it. Anyway, what's the death pile looking like right now? You listed like 100 items recently, right?
Yeah, not very much. I have like 4 tubs like that I keep in the garage. Right now, Portland is actually under a state of emergency because there's snow and we don't get snow here. So I have 4 tubs in my garage that are like my emergency backup because I have to list every day. And so I'll probably start to hit those tubs. But so I guess I do have those, but those again, you should always have like a small emergency backup, right? Like, but it's organized and ready to go.
Okay, I get it. So are you finding that season now that we're coming out of winter, and clearly Portland is it a 3-season town or a 4-season town, right? Is it kind of 4-season, right? You proceed through all of them or no?
Yes and no. We get fall for sure, summer, I guess spring and winter are kind of the same, but we got a foot of snow last night and we never get snow really.
Whoa.
So yeah, it's pretty bad here right now. Like they're not prepared, you know. So the mail was shut out today. There was no mail today, so we had to email everyone and be like, "Hey, sorry, can't get your packages out."
And that explains the sledding too, right?
Yeah.
That's cool. Are you finding, okay, so with the seasonality, do you find that seasonality plays a larger role in your eBay business at all?
No, I don't really think so. So whenever I get something, I list it, even if it's a pair of shorts right now and it's snowing. I do see that, you know, jackets and sweaters are selling better right now than they would in the summertime, but that doesn't mean that they won't sell in the summer as well. So I just list it as I get it. I don't play around with the seasonality game in my store, at least.
Because it can be safely assuming that you can also safely assume that if you find a jacket, a women's jacket in the dead of summer in Portland, it's going to sell. You think it sells year round? Because my philosophy is it's going to be cold somewhere in the US and someone's going to want this thing. Yes or no? Do you agree with that philosophy?
Absolutely. And most of the time I sell things that are out of season to people who are like traveling, right? Like if you're going on vacation in the dead of winter and you want a bathing suit, you're not going to walk into Target and get a bathing suit.
No, you're right.
And international as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, you know, things like that. Raken, I'm sure you've experienced the same thing when you were doing a lot of men's clothing. Like you'd sell shorts year round, right?
It always baffled me when somebody would say, you know, like it's winter time or like it's summertime and I'm not going to list this because of that season, because I was selling winter jackets in the middle of the summer and vice versa. I mean, you guys are selling to the whole entire world on eBay. And if you're not going international, you know, definitely opt into the global shipping program because, you know, they cover most of the world. Obviously, they don't allow certain countries that are higher risk. But, you know, when you're selling to the whole world, there's, like they always say, there's an ass for every seat, right? There's always somebody in need. There's always a different reason traveling. I like that you mentioned that, traveling, because I didn't think of that, you know, people who are traveling out of the country or whatnot. Just list it. If you get it, list it, because when you get that death pile, it messes with you big time, right? Like, Chris, I know you've had some death piles in the past, haven't you?
I have had death piles, and that can cause some serious, like, I don't know how to explain it. It definitely messes with you. It caused me to get kind of slightly depressed, and like I didn't like it at all.
It cripples you.
Yeah, it does cripple you. I think that's the perfect way to say it. It cripples you in some weird way, because it's natural human behavior. If you're a reseller, to go after the big hitters, you're like, all right, I listed all the good stuff. Now all I gotta do is just order, like, for me, right? I do everything, right? Men's clothing, except for women's clothing, which is cool. That's why we have Nicole stay here doing it. We're learning about some women's clothing here in a second. But you know, there's some things that I'm like, I gotta order a cable for that, a battery for that thing. I gotta test this, but I'm missing this cord, and that stuff just starts piling up somewhere. So I've told myself, you know what? I know my behavior from now. If I see that item and it doesn't come complete, I'm not messing with it. That's just the way I can do it. That's the way I'm like, I'm not messing with it, because I know that I don't order the thing. I end up donating it like 4 months later to Savers, and I feel good about it, but I realistically lost some money, right?
I'll go so far to say, you know, there's so many people who want to learn how to like double their sales or increase their sales by like 50%. I'll go so far to say that 90% of the people watching right now could double their sales in 30 days. I'm not saying it's going to be forever, but you can literally, if you're making $5,000 a month right now or $3,000, you can double that in the next 30 days if you stop going thrifting for the next 1 month. Just stop and just list everything. Go on Nicole State 100 listing adventures and see what happens. I mean, right? How many people are just addicted to buying, right? But their death pile slowly but surely. I mean, I've gone into some resellers' garages, and it is a sight to be seen. I'll tell you that.
Well, you even had a death pile too, Raken, right? With your clothing. At some
Oh,
point,
yeah.
you had to let, like, someone showed up with a U-Haul too.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Well, that was all listed at one point, and then I'd gotten out of the business because I had moved into another one, so that was just sitting there. I mean, it's not like I bought it all and I had never listed it. Like, it was all listed at one point. But I guess in a sense you could say, but I mean, when I first got started, there was a time where I had like 200 clothing items, like 250 unlisted, just death piles, savers tags on them. Like I was so addicted to buying, and especially with clothing, right, Nicole? Like, isn't it something like, I don't know if you can relate, Bonafide, because you never went like balls to the walls with clothing, but there's so many pieces of clothing out there. Like, talk about that, Nicole. Like, you could go into any thrift store and just like spend your whole day there.
People on Instagram make fun of me. I like, they'll post pictures of their carts overflowing, and they'll be like, I'm on a Nicole State trip, because I will go through an entire store and I'll, check out with a whole full cart every time. But this is my trick, and I'll tell you guys, because I heard you guys talking about this a second ago. Don't list all your good stuff right away. So what I do is I take like 5 boring pieces, and then I take 5 good pieces, and I put my boring pieces on my top of my good pieces, and you list your boring pieces, and then you get rewarded and you get to list your good pieces, right? Like, you got to break it up with yourself. You got to reward yourself.
Okay. So I'm the kind of guy who goes for the kill, like, straight on, because I'm like, it's the money back in my pocket quicker, and I get to go out with it again. By the way, we're at 436 viewers.
I know, we're only 10 away.
You're so close
from hitting.
Anyway, the heat is coming. I can feel it. But anyway, okay, so we're going to go back to this. I do want to ask the question in the feed: if you have a death pile, if you have one, just be honest, right? No one knows what anyone looks like except for us 3 right here. But you guys in the feed right there, if you have a death pile, just type in death pile. I have one or something. I just want to see who is honest with themselves and who has a little death pile that they have not listed.
Go to Nicole's Instagram or Facebook, post a picture of your death pile on her page.
Yeah, no joke.
Yeah, I'm just curious to see. I'm pretty sure we're gonna have. Oh, someone has a death pile. Oh, look at all these death piles coming up. So many.
Holy what?
You guys, I'm so sad for you. Your money.
I know your next video topic. You got to bring the heat, and you got to get on one of your knees and talk to them.
I've been on Instagram every morning doing a live video, and I've been like, hold yourself accountable. DM me right now. What are you going to do? And at the end of the day, I go through my DMs and I tell them if I'm proud of them or not. Because I'm just tired of seeing money and people say, I can't afford, I'm broke, why am I nothing selling? And I'm like, well, you have all this stuff, get it listed.
Yeah, that's totally true. Once you get rid of your death pile, and some you're going to have to donate. Like, some is just not listable, I guess that's the word. But you just have to get rid of it, right? You have to sit there and almost punish yourself for making a bad decision and go, I got to donate this thing, right? And I've done it. Everyone's done it. I do about once a year. Like, people might think like you hustle a lot of great things, but I do hustle a lot of things that don't sell too. Not a whole lot, but I definitely have no death pile right now. It's all good. So, but yeah, I'm very cognizant of how I act, and I'm very, I know when I go a little too overboard, right? So last year was one of those, like, I was correcting myself, and this year I am 100% going to be on board with no death piles. What do you mostly source from? Thrift stores, Portland during the garage sale season? Do you mess with that?
Yeah, I love garage sales. Garage sales, I mean, I found some of my best pieces at garage sales. There's 5 Intel campuses within like 5 minutes of my house. I live in a really high-end neighborhood, and so there is tons of money at garage sales. Also, Nike employee garage sales are crazy money.
Are you serious? Like, we need to move to Portland, Raken.
No, I went to a garage sale last year. Joe and I pulled up. It was on this little street, and Joe and the guy started talking because Joe was working at Intel at the time, and so Joe and the guy started talking about Intel, and this guy worked for Nike, and this guy had all these shoes, Cole Haans, really good Nikes, all of this really good apparel, and so I'm loading it up in my arms. I didn't really have prices on anything. I was going to make a bundle deal, and the guy's like, "Yeah, how about like $20 for everything?"
Whoa!
And things like that happen here because you just have crazy money, right? And when you have crazy money around you, people just throw it away.
I bet you your yard sale treasure map in Portland is like out of control, right?
Oh, in the summertime, there's like 500-600 yard sales every weekend.
We have a new winner. We have a new winner. We have a new winner, by the way.
Yeah.
448.
You just
Yeah.
beat 447, by the way. I just saw it. So even if it was just for a second, I do want to say congratulations, Nicole, for you've been the #1 guest on a Green Room Hangout. Isn't that insane? Holy moly!
Wow.
Look at this is what I gotta say. My speech. I have to say, I like to put my mind to things, and when I want to do something, I get it done. And this just proves it. You know, I put in a lot of work to just shout it out constantly and beg people and say, please come watch. I really want to do this. And it's not going to happen if you don't ask for it. If you don't ask for it, you're not going to get it.
That's like straight from the
That's
secret
the attention.
DVD right there. No, sounds like the secret. You ever watch that DVD, Raken? You know what I'm talking about?
Watched it. It's playing in the other room right now.
There's a part where a guy's on his bed and he's like dreaming of driving a Ferrari. I don't know if you've caught that part.
Yeah,
it's
he's
kind
like,
of funny.
I know that part.
Like envision what you want, and the guy's like making Ferrari noises, driving an invisible
But his
Ferrari on his
face
bed.
is priceless in that.
Yes.
The face that he's making.
What are you talking about?
It's this. Okay, it's a DVD called The Secret. Okay, does anyone in the feed know what I'm talking about? If you watch The Secret, the DVD, there is a scene where a guy is like, and maybe in a chair. I think he's sitting on something, and he's driving an invisible Ferrari, making Ferrari noises. And he's like, anyway, he's
They're
projecting
teaching the
himself.
principle of visualization.
okay.
Exactly.
If I can pronounce it properly.
So I thought, okay, so some people will know what we're talking about. There we go. Okay, so, and by the way, I did see it go to 450 at one point. So now you've really shattered the goal. We're trying to get to 500 to see what happens here. So garage sales and thrift stores, bins, yes or no? Are you out of the bin business? Are you still in it? You're in the bin business still, right?
Yeah, I go 2 or 3 times a week.
Yeah.
To the bins, and then I hit up Goodwill and some Salvation Armies. There's not a ton of like small stores around me, so.
Okay. So let's talk about your go-to items to sell. What's your #1 thing when you go to a garage sale or you go to a thrift store? You're like, okay, this would be like the #1 thing I look for. What is it in women's clothing? What do you look for? Is it a shoe? Is it a type of garb? Like, what is it?
So the way I hit Goodwill is I go shoes first and then dresses. So like shoes and dresses, not like a #1 shoe to sell or anything. I just look for, high quality shoes. And you start to get an eye where you can just see that something is a good shoe, right? So I go shoes and then dresses. So those are my go-to spots in the store.
Okay, shoes and dresses. And by the way, we have 22 minutes left on the show. There is a contest at the very end. When I said this at the beginning of the show, there was only like 100 people like listening. So there is a contest at the very end. We have two kind of prizes we're giving out. One is going to be based upon what Nicole is talking about here on the show. The second prize is going to go out, and it's going to be a question based upon something that's in this guide right here. And you can
Not
find
gonna
it
work.
The very first, huh?
It's not gonna work.
Really?
The website.
So someone got it there.
Yeah.
Some people have it. We'll see what happens.
Possibly, but that page, I don't know if
Nicole broke our
something-
website, dude. We're gonna have to like
The
send her the
website
invoice
works,
of our
but
web.
that page is just like
Shot?
just like PHP error die.
Okay, so
Like
let's
the page is like done.
we'll send her the bill.
Oh, sorry.
I'm just kidding. But yeah, we'll still make we're gonna have something that comes out of that guide. So if you got the guide before the crash happened, then you'll be eligible for this contest. You'll see what I'm having. You're going to want that guide though. So if you have it in your computer somewhere, you downloaded it like a long time ago or something, bring it up and have it on like a page really close to you, because a question is going to come out right at the end of the show regarding that guide. Something interesting. Okay. So let's now talk about, if we looked on your eBay pie, how much of the women's clothing, let's say, would be shoes? How much would be casual, formal, and then maybe swimmer? Like, what does your eBay pie kind of look like, right, from the top, looking down?
I don't know. I just put that it was 90% clothing. So that's a really hard question. I don't know the answer to that one without actually going in and looking at it. But I know that my top sellers are like sweaters and dresses right now. So those are like my top two that I'm selling right now. But it would probably be a pretty fair mix of like all the different things, because I don't discriminate. Like I just go and I get whatever is good. So I go through every single section in the store.
Dresses. That's interesting. I've never sold a dress. I've never really sold women's to begin with. I mean, I've sold
Oh,
thousands and thousands of men's items, and dresses. Tell people about what do you look for dresses? Like what
so
is
think
it?
about it. Like dresses, you only need one piece of clothing, right? So like if you're a woman, you only need a dress and you're good to go. So people will spend more money on a dress than they will just a shirt
Oh,
or something.
hmm.
And my Goodwill prices them about the same. You know, a dress will be $7.99, a shirt will be $4.99, $6.99. So there's not like a huge price jump. So my margins are a lot bigger when I can get a dress than a shirt.
What do you like to sell your dresses for? Like, what's a good price for you? Like, what range are you typically messing around with?
Like 25 to 40 is like the average probably range for a good dress.
Are those usually over first class? Are
No,
those no? They're pretty light.
yeah, so they're under first class, so you know, $3 to ship it.
That's a lot of margins.
Yeah, it's pretty good margins. And then if I can get it at the bins, even more so, it's like 50 cents. And so you're making a ton of money selling that sort of thing. And if it's from the bins, it's like I'm okay with it being like $20. You know, like it doesn't have to be a huge dollar amount.
Okay,
Now,
I see what you're saying. Right.
I just got one more question because I'm actually very interested in it. Don't know if I'll ever find myself in a women's section shopping for dresses, but
Don't lie.
to each their own. Anyways, with dresses, can you sell dresses that aren't really branded well? Like they're not a super popular brand, but it just got like a super cool, crazy design. Because I see like so many dresses that are like just amazing designs on them, and I don't know if they're good brands or not.
I can, but I have built a brand within my store. So people know my store for clothing. I have a lot of repeat buyers.
Oh, really?
I have someone who comes to my store every single day and buys 3 to 5 items.
Wow.
Like, I'm not joking. Joe even we talked about it the other day because we're like, what is happening here? It's been happening for probably 3 or 4 weeks now. Same person, really nice. They communicated with me. They just like what I sell, I guess. Like, I don't know. So, you know, I started to build a brand within my store. And so I have a lot of repeat customers. So I think I can. Also, I sell on Poshmark. And Poshmark, you definitely can do that kind of thing. You can definitely do style over brand. But I still try and stick with brands.
Okay. Let me ask you this: like, looking at let's say, you know, your clothing genres, you have like swimwear, you have casual, you have dresses, you have shoes. Where are you more likely to hit a home run? Or if you look back in your eBay kind of like selling history, like where do you go? Okay, you know, I hit home runs quite often in shoes. Like what is it for you where you're like, yeah, that's not, it's not hard to hit a home run in that category. What would that be?
Shoes and jackets. So shoes, probably for sure. You can do really well in shoes, especially with brands that other people don't know. You find a good pair of leather shoes, you buy them for, you know, $5, $10, and you sell them for 70 to 100. So shoes, I feel like you can get a lot of good home runs. And then jackets. So you can find really good jackets. A lot of people don't want to buy jackets at the bins because they're heavy. So they're not buying it because they don't want to pay $2 or $3 for it, which sounds silly.
That's crazy.
But, you know, like I picked up a wool J. Crew jacket the other day, sold for $100 as soon as I listed it. I got it at the bins and someone had thrown it back because it was too heavy. I'm sure that's why they didn't get it. It was like $5.
Wow. Was that a women's?
Not a single hole in that thing,
Yeah.
huh? Every time I see wool things, Raken, have you seen holes in wool clothing? Nicole, you've got to see
All
it.
the time, yeah.
Right? I see them all the time
Yeah.
too. Do you scan this thing up and down when you get it?
Yeah, and because I worked at a resale store for 6 years, I'm really good at like knowing the spots to hit. But I still bring home stuff with holes in it. I don't mess with it. It just gets redonated.
Okay. Yeah, good. And you're not afraid to redonate, right? That's what makes you great. Is like you embrace what takes people years to figure out. Is, you know, you have it's like kind of like the stock market. You got to have some losers in there, right? And you got to donate some of this stuff back, or else you're really going to have a problem when it comes to home. And you're like, I'll get to that one day. You'll never get to it, right? Or if there's something wrong with it, or if it has a hole and you found it out later, or a weird stain, or it might even be shrunk a little bit more than what you thought, and you're like, oh, that's definitely not a large. It kind of looks like a small. You know, I don't want to take a chance with my feedback on that thing. You know, everyone makes bad decisions, even the best of the resellers, and you have to be able to sit there and go, what do I do with this bad decision? Do I learn from it? And Nicole, you learn from it. You also take it, you know, back when you need to, right? Not take it back, but you donate it.
Donate it, yeah.
Right?
I don't mess around with returns because I have relationships with everyone at my Goodwills, and I don't want to be known as the girl who returns things. So look, if I made a mistake and I bought it and there's something wrong with it, I would just donate it. I don't want to be known as that person who takes back things all the time, or,
Of course.
I want to have a good rapport with the people who work at the stores that I go to 2 or 3 times a week,
Mm-hmm.
Now, some items you can sell with a flaw. I know when I was selling men's clothing, there's certain items that are so high end and hard to come across. Maybe it goes for $60 in great condition, but with a hole, you could still get 20 or 30. Now, do you have kind of like a bottom line cutoff in terms of like the lowest priced item you would sell? Like, do you not go under $10 or 15?
No. So I sell things cheap all the time to get my best match search up, essentially. So I do believe in like a loss leader, and that's just something that happens in retail if you're selling in volume. So I want eBay to look at my store and see that I sell a lot and keep pushing my items to the top. And so the stuff I get at the bins, if I sell it for, $8, $10 and it's a shirt and I'm making $1 off of it, I'm okay with that within a certain percentage, because you have to get your store boosted to the top of best match. If you're selling clothing, you're not going to sell anything. You've got to get your numbers right? You've got to.
Let's talk more about that, because I've never heard anyone kind of mention it that way. I've always said it in the past too. The more you sell, it seems they promote you more and the algorithm starts to favor you. That's why I like running sales, because when you run sales, you get more sales. Something happens with the eBay algorithm. Talk a little more about that in terms of like somebody who's maybe new and they're having trouble, landing sales. You're saying maybe lower the prices or do whatever you can to get things moving, because that's going to bump your store up and increase visibility overall.
Yeah. So none of us know what the secret algorithm is, right? So let me preface with that.
I thought you were going to tell us.
I wish I knew, right? But I do know from working retail and kind of having that background that the more you sell, the more you sell. Even if I have to sell things for $7.95 free shipping and just get it out the door, if I'm selling, 10, 15 items a day, my higher dollar things that I want to get $80, $100 for are going to get pushed to the top in best match, because eBay sees my store as a store that's making money. And when I make money, they make money. And so my items are getting better ranking in best match. And I don't like things to sit in my store. So once something reaches 100, 200 views, I need to get it out, because it's weighing my store down. So I'll auction it and get it out the door. I don't want stale inventory. You can call eBay and get a stale inventory report. You know that, right? You can, you can call eBay and you can be like, hey, I need a stale inventory report, and they'll send it to you, and you can see which items are not getting as good of ranking in best match because they're stale items.
Okay.
Wow. That's interesting.
Do you combine all this stuff with a sale? How now, not talking stale, but talking sale, right? The word sale. Is your store, Nicole, stop looking at it.
Sorry, I'm really excited.
But do you
$4.95, holy mackerel. I just looked at it.
Do you what's your view on sales? Putting your store on perpetual sale, or maybe a day lapse and then you put it on sale again? How do you do it in your store?
I have a really good rhythm that I do. So first off, I do half off my whole store every Sunday, and I promote it on Instagram. And I say, hey, if there's anything that you've seen in my hauls, now's the day to do it. And I have people who'll buy from me that way. And then aside from that, I always have a sale running. Let me try and explain this to you. So I start a sale Monday, and then it will end on Wednesday. And then I start a sale Tuesday, and that sale will end on Friday. So I always have a sale either starting or stopping every single day. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I have 2 sales running with each other.
Are these on different parts of your eBay store, or different? How do you have 2 sales running at the same time?
I list a lot.
Oh my God. Break it.
Yes!
Oh my God. Oh my.
I snapped it right when it switched over. I'm sorry.
This is historical. I've never seen. Oh my gosh, guys! What number were we going for? Type it in the feed right now. What number were we going for? Was Nicole?
Holy crap! The comments are going insane right now.
Oh my gosh!
Thank you guys so much. No, I really
cannot believe
it. You to everybody that did this for me. I know a lot of my followers, and I hate saying followers. A lot of my coworkers is what I like to call them, because we're all in this together. Thank you guys for supporting me tonight. It means a lot to me that you did this.
That's I don't know if we'll ever break that again. That is amazing. When you're at 20,000 YouTube subscribers in 3 weeks, Nicole, we'll be at 1,000 or something viewers on your next show. Watch. But anyway, this is really incredible. I gotta say. So I had to interrupt you. I'm sorry, but I didn't know when it was gonna go 500, then go back to 480, and I was like, I have to stop her. Anyway,
I had the screenshot already. Right when it hit, it was like boom. It was captured.
Oh, you did it? You may as well just keep screenshotting because now we're in record territory. Now we were in record territory a long time ago, but anyway, now we're
in the unknown right now.
We're in the unknown, the Nicole State unknown.
Well, let's give them some info on eBay. So that's what I do. Is my sell is every other day. Essentially, I'm going to sell stopping or starting every day, and because I do try to list so much, and I run things on 30-day. I only do 30-day. I don't do good till cancel. I do 30 days. So 30 days.
Okay.
I can't every day. I'm relisting. So it works out. I always have a bigger sell that has 400, and then I'll have a 200 sell. But I just want it starting or stopping every day because I feel like that helps my algorithms.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Now you also involve Instagram. You said, right? You tell people on Instagram that you're running a 50 or all your sales, or just this 51.
51 is the one that I promote heavily. So. I've also been messing around with the direct links, so you can, run a sell that you have to click the link for to get the promotion. So I'm playing around with that a little just to see where my numbers are. But I do run a half off sell in my store every single Sunday. Everything in the store is half off, no exceptions.
That's cool.
Holy fuck.
Did you notice a huge spike that day?
I usually do, $600 to $1,000 that day every week.
Oh, that's phenomenal.
But you know what that does? That helps push my listings up in Best Match, you guys. It really does. And people can argue with me all day long.
There's something to it. I know. I after selling thousands of items and Bonafide, you've sold probably more than I have. I mean, there's something to it. When you run sales, when you get things moving, eBay rewards you. I mean, at the end of the day, when you sell an item, eBay makes money. They want you. They're not in the game just to be friends with everyone. They're there to make money. So whatever they can do, if you're selling, they're going to reward you. It's bottom line.
I think they reward you when you list almost every day as opposed to listing only once a week. I know this is a weird thing to say, but I've noticed small correlations between if I'm to divide, if I'm all right, my listing goal is 50 a week, right? 50 high quality ones a week, and I do them all on a day. I know it'll give you a nice spike, but I know if I do 10 a day for 5 days, that's a lot better for eBay because they see you, I think, looking into your actual store more often, and you're more liable to put things on sale. If you're always in your store, if you're always in your business, you're always tweaking things around. Like in an antique booth business, I have one. If I go to my booth all the time, literally every single day, which I don't do, but if I did, I would move things around all the time. I would start adjusting it because you're tweaking it to make more money. That's essentially what you're doing. What you're doing, right? What do you think about that, Nicole? Do you go to your eBay store every single day?
I'm
right?
a strong believer in this, guys. So I list right now. I'm really focusing on YouTube as well, and I know Reagan can relate with this. It's hard to do everything. So my goal was always 50 listings a day, and now it's getting cut back a little bit because I'm also working on trying to grow on YouTube and help people learn how to do eBay and things like that. So it's really doing more 30 listings a day. But I feel like you do have to list every day, and also certain times of the day matter for me. You can go into eBay and see when you get the most sales of the day, right? You should be looking at these reports. You pay for a store, you need to look at these reports. You can see when you're getting sales throughout the day, right? So I know when I get sales, right? So I like my items to be listed right before those sales come in. So there's a morning period and an evening period. So I will even schedule my listings out throughout the week to make sure that I'm hitting those times. Because when you have a new listing, it gets that fancy new listing boost in Best Match.
Yeah.
Wow. I'd be convinced that you actually work for eBay at the end of the show. I'm telling you.
And I'd even go as far to say when you time it perfectly, even if they don't buy it, the more people that are clicking on that listing, it's pointing to the algorithm saying there's people interested, there's something of value here, and they're probably rewarding you for that too.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? All I know is that I make enough money to pay my bills, and all of these things are, tried and tested. I've tried it all, and you have to pay to schedule things, but it's always worth it to me. That 10 cents that you pay to make sure that your listings are going out. Say you're going to go on vacation, or you're not going to be able to list for 3 days. just schedule it out, you know, pay $3 and have 10 listings go up every day.
It's a good point. I like that.
Do you use any third-party softwares or anything?
No, I know I should. I know people are always like, you should use this and you can get, I don't. I just don't.
Sometimes it's more work. Like I experimented with a lot of different ones, and like a lot of them didn't work for me, just because I don't know. Like even like the Turbo Lister. At one point, I had a virtual assistant helping me out with listings overseas, and like, have you ever tried the Turbo Lister, Chris?
Never have.
I think it's a Turbo Lister, isn't that what it's called? Like I hated it so much, and like even like InkFrog and InkFrog.
Yeah.
It's been a while. I don't know. Sometimes it's cool just to stick with what works, right? Like you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Like you're making it work. Like you're making a full-time income. Like sometimes if it's not broken, why try to fix it, right?
Yeah, I mean, I have templates that I use, and I just go as fast as I can and knock it out.
Cool. While we're on the notion of templates, we're talking about items now in your store, right? Because you're listing off templates. Let's discuss easy to find and easy to resell clothing items. Can you give me 5? And you're like, real quick. We're running out of time on this show. It kind of sucks because you are literally like the best guest that we've had. But you're welcome. Other items to look for: easy to find. This is the key: easy to find and easy to resell. Yeah. So you've thought about this. What are your 5 picks?
Okay, so people always want a brand list, and I just want to preference this with I don't do brand lists because what I can find is going to be different than what you can find. You should be doing, what you should do to figure this out is just do solds and do like 50 miles within your area or your zip code, which you can do on eBay. So, you know, type in shirt, look within 50 miles and see what brands are selling. So do that on your own. But the 5 things style-wise that I look for right now, anything 100% cashmere, tweed blazers and jackets. Tweed is really in right now. Anything lace, especially if it's like off the shoulders and it has like a bell sleeve. Staple pieces for the office, because people don't want to spend a lot of money on office wear. Like when I worked at an office, I would go on eBay and buy my pants and my skirts and my blazers and stuff because I didn't want to spend a lot of money on the clothes that I didn't really care about to begin with. And then any good quality leather shoes.
Okay, so any good quality leather shoes. Okay, that's good. I like that you didn't go brands. You went for like so it gives people kind of like, oh, you know, look in this area of your thrift store, maybe, you know, this is where you might be able to find some good stuff.
Yeah, because we're all going to find different brands depending on where we live.
That's true. Now let's get a little bit harder, like a little bit harder clothing to find, but still really good profits. If you can find it, it's almost like guaranteed home run. Like what is this type of genre? 3 things.
Okay, so 3 things. Again, so lag and look. Lagenlook, Lagenlook.
Lagenlook. What is this thing? Tell us what.
Lagenlook it's German for layering look, and it is hot right now. Google Lagenlook and you'll see what I'm talking about. Anytime I get a Lagenlook piece, it's big money really quickly. And so there's a ton of different brands within that. Go look up Lagenlook and make sure you're using that in your title. The second one would be high quality sports brands like your Lululemon sort of thing. And then the third one, and the third one, which Chris, you'll appreciate, is cycling clothing. I sell a lot of, you know, bibs and padded seat things, you know, the shorts of the
padded seat things. She called them padded seat things. She just called them padded seat things. Okay. No, that's cool.
I listed like 4 of them last night. I get them at the bins all the time. You know, it's a quick $25-$30.
Yeah, bibs jerseys, basically, or cycling. Yeah, you're right. Bibs
PSTs.
Jerseys. Cool. Well, that's cool that you do cycling stuff. That's interesting. That's I didn't know that about you. That's cool. You must find a lot of it in Portland because there's so many cyclists out there.
Yeah, there's like it's a huge culture out here.
Do you ever see people that are like super hipster, like lumberjack looking people? I'm sorry, like I have to ask now because
have you seen my husband?
Well, your husband like is a tattoo like dude.
No,
like
I
he's
do.
not trying to be like looking like, I mean, he's literally like in that genre. Like he can dress that and no one can call him anything else, right? I'm talking about other people that haven't picked up an axe or like haven't done anything out, like, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, they have a trust fund and they have like a beard and plaid shirt on, and you're living in the Pearl District, which is like the crazy expensive district in town, and you look like you're homeless. Like, I'm not sure if I should put money in your cup or if that's an expensive cup of coffee. Yeah.
Oh gosh. Okay, so you do see this. I see this in Austin sometimes, and it's kind of funny. And there's some funny things that go around town. Like, look at this person. They call it something different, but anyway.
Portlandia is a true show. It's true.
Yeah, they say it's hipster ground central in Portland. That's what Chris S says right here. So that's pretty funny. Okay, so we're gonna fast forward to one because we're running out of time here. So do you do anything special for your customers when you ship out your clothing? Let's say in first class mailers, do you put a card there? Nicole, came from Nicole State. Any stickers? Anything that kind of brands you? Because you strike me as the kind of person you're like ahead of the game here. Like, so do you do anything, or if not, it's not a huge deal. But what do you do right now?
I don't want feedback unless they want to give it to me. So I don't ask for feedback because I feel like that's asking for negative feedback. So I don't put like any sort of like, give me feedback. Don't give me feedback, please. Like most of the time, if it's a feedback, you're not happy. Like,
just leave me alone.
Leave me alone. So we are branding. I'm trying to work with like Alibaba and get a bunch of state place bags. So, but I want to order them in bulk because it's way cheaper with our logo, like, poly mailers with our logo on it. So I'm working on that. Hopefully by the end of the month, I'll have those. And then the thing that we ship in, so this is what all of our clothing looks like. It's folded into these clear bags. And we ship in the clear bag. So we don't use like tissue or anything. And I have gotten people who have messaged me being like, thank you for the extra protection by putting it in this extra, clear bag. So that's all we do. And we just do this for storage purposes, but it's in a clear bag in a poly mailer and off it goes.
Nice.
Cool. So you don't get much negative. I mean, when it comes to negative feedback, are you very proactive? You're like, all right, I treat this pretty seriously. Like you can have the clothing. Do you kind of do that? You strike me as that kind of person.
Yeah. So I basically will, I'll refund people all the time just to be like, hey, I'm sorry. I always try to apologize. I will go above and beyond to do anything I can to make it right. But at the same time, right now I have 7 negative feedbacks from the last year. But I have 4,000 positive ones.
Oh, wow.
So,
okay, yeah, I see.
you're gonna get negatives with positives. There's no way around it.
Yeah,
especially with clothing. The people that don't sell clothing don't understand. But if you sell clothing, like there's so many things that could go wrong. There's so many things that could go wrong. So, you had 4,000 positive in 1 year. Is that your total?
No, 1 year.
Holy mackerel. That's a lot of items that you sold right there because most people aren't going to leave feedback. That just goes to show how many items you sold.
Yeah, we ship, probably 5. We probably do 500 to 1,000 in a month, depending on the month. Wow. So a lot.
Holy mackerel. And your listing, your goal was what? Listing 50 a day? That's a lot, right? Didn't you say 50?
She had 100 a day the other day. Did you do 100 in one day?
Yeah. So my sell-through rate right now, it varies between like 80 to 90%. So I don't sit on things, guys. It's the name of the game when you're selling clothes that are low dollar. I'm not Ronnie. Like I'm not selling high dollar things. I'm selling, the $20 items all day long. And so it's all about getting as much out the door as fast as I can.
Can I ask you a question? Like it's kind of you don't have to answer it if you don't want to.
Ask it.
Can I? Do you like the ones that are just like, uh-oh?
Do it. What is it?
Starts with social. No, I'm just kidding. How many hours a week do you think you put into this business? Like honestly, like how many hours? Because that's like when you're telling me that you're listing that many, I'm thinking to myself, holy mackerel, like does she have a life? Like I'm just being honest.
No, that's a good question. People ask me that all the time. It's hard to say because like I do things all the time with work, so like, but I'm really fast and very efficient. It's all about being efficient and
that's
a
important.
lot of, right. Like, so yesterday I took photos of 100 things and it took me about 2.5 hours.
Wow. That's very efficient. Holy mackerel.
The trick is to not get distracted. And I do flat knit lays now. I kicked out my mannequin. Mannequin was taking too long. Some things might look better on a mannequin. My flat lays look pretty good.
It takes a lot longer to put it on a mannequin. I'll tell you that right now. Especially if it's did you have a dress form mannequin before?
Yeah.
Yeah. It takes. Okay. Keep going.
And so for me, it's about efficiency. So if I'm selling, I'm not trying to get the top dollar out of my item. So you're not going to get the top photo. My photos are good though. Like I have like a whole thing that I do. They look good. They're good enough. And my listings are very simple. You get 2 measurements and 3 sentences out the door.
That's good.
You're laughing, but with clothing, like
that's really
I've
good.
actually started doing that as well. Do you list do you list via mobile or are you actually doing the whole camera SD card?
No, everything is on my phone. So
wow.
How on
and
earth do you do 100 in like 2 or 3 hours? Wow.
photos, it's easy. Like, oh, you gotta
She
stop
ain't
getting
on
distracted.
Facebook.
You gotta stop getting distracted, right? Like, you gotta do little rewards. Stop getting distracted. And then listing takes longer. So Joe will help me with listing sometimes too. Like, he'll build drafts for me or whatever. But I have templates. So, I have my women's shirt template. I only have to fill in like 5 things on that, throw the photos in, and upload it.
Oh yeah, true. The templates do speed it up, especially if you have something that can be replicated like clothing. So I get it now. Okay. That's really, really awesome.
It's still amazing though. Like
That's
that.
still really amazing. With templates still, I'm like, wow.
I want you to
incredible.
record yourself doing that and then put it in fast forward. Just speed it up for like a 3-minute video.
No, and then a close up of your eyes after 2.5 hours.
I did yesterday. Yesterday, I did like time lapse and when I was taking my photos or whatever, and
I'll have to check that out.
you just get it done and stop spending so much time researching. People spend half an hour researching one thing that they're only going to make $25 on. Yeah, that's bad. Like, stop spending 5 minutes tops as my research time. Otherwise, I just do my best.
Okay. Well, cool.
Wow.
We're at 527 viewers. Oh my gosh. So now we have a super record in the books.
Screenshot time.
Yeah, take that
Screenshot.
Okay, so let's get into like the fun part. Well, not the fun part. This is probably not the fun part anymore because like the whole fun part was the entire show. But we promised Nicole that, and I was going to give this away regardless because this is I've always wanted to have, like, lately I wanted to have Nicole Smith on the show. Oh, sorry, Nicole Smith. Nicole State on the show. Why am I saying Nicole Smith? But I wanted to have her on the show, and she agreed, and we were like talking back and forth and all this stuff, and she's like, I'm going to bring 500, and I was like, whoa, that's going to be very hard.
You mentioned me a week ago.
That's hard to do.
I did it when you said it.
I can't believe it's not that I'm a doubtful type of person. I just know that how long it took us to get someone that could bring 447. It took us 2 years of shows, right? And so, and it's a person that was on TV, mind you. It was someone that had a show and big following, like a Facebook group of like 10,000 plus people. So it was anyway, so your posse is super loyal. Like I'm very, very impressed. There's someone in the feed here, something 1967, that's saying, you're the real girl, you're the real dude, real girl, whatever. Nicole brings the heat and like all this stuff. Like, truth be told, look at the number, best in YouTube.
I remember you were like, yeah, if you do that, I'll give away something, and I was like, okay.
Oh, you totally did. So that's the part of the show that we're at. We're the something part, right?
Yeah.
So one of the things that the Green Room is going to give away is we're going to give away a $25 to your PayPal, straight paid tonight to your PayPal. You're going to have to get in contact with us, okay? Raken, the email that they need to get in contact.
No, support at greenroomuniversity.com. So we'll link it up. We'll link it up after the show. We'll put it in there, how to get a hold of us. But support at greenroomuniversity.com.
Support at greenroomuniversity.com. Okay, so remember that, because here is going to be the first $25 in your PayPal. That's when the first prize is going to be something that Nicole is going to ask right now. So if you paid attention to the entire show, she's going to be thinking about something. I know she's on the spot right now, but I can see it. But think about something, and then Nicole, look at the feed and be real quick with your eyes and just tell me who. All right, I'll write the person's name down, like who.
Am I like mind tracking this, or am I asking this right now?
No, you ask like any question you want from the whole show. You quiz these people. We have 514 people that one of them's about to get $25.
I got it. No, I got it.
Okay, what's the
I'm
question?
laughing because I don't know how you're going to track this in the feed. It's like having Roger Clemens throw a
I'm going to make a hard question. Watch.
Joe, you're in charge right now. He's in the feed. Joe, you got to help me. You got to be my partner. What did me and Joe and the family do today?
Oh, that's a perfect question. I love it. I love it.
What did we do today?
All right, tell me who's the first one. Someone shout out the first person. I know what the answer is. And Joe's saying okay.
He's in there waiting.
Boom.
Oh, Jennifer.
Got it.
Jennifer, you win.
Is that Jennifer Leland?
Yeah, Jennifer Leland. She's on point. She's in the green room. So we'll invoice her. I know we know her.
Thank you, everyone who's
Look how fast the sledding thing's
going. Holy mackerel!
I love you.
I want to go sledding after this.
So
fun. That is good. Oh my gosh. All right. So the second question is, and this has to do with 100 amazing items to resell. If you're lucky enough to not crash our site and you have the guide, I'll give you 10 seconds to get prepared. Okay. And the question to that, and this is going to be worth a 1 month trial membership in the Green Room University. Okay, we're just going to bring you into the university. You'll have to hit me and Raken behind the scenes on Facebook. Okay, very important. And just say, hey, I want it. This was me. This is my handle, blah, blah, blah. Prove it with a screenshot of your YouTube channel, whatever. So here's the question. All right, so hopefully that have the guide ready. What is the number 2 item on the guide? That's it. That is it. Let's see who gets a free Green Room membership. And if you're in the Green Room, we'll comp you what a 1 month would be. All right. So what is the second item in the actual guide?
Really just making up items.
Okay. I think I see one.
Guns? Is it guns?
Yeah.
Crap, I saw it. I think it's Daniel Ridgway.
Well, there's some specifics. There's Ridgway and there's also Terry Dickens. I would give it to Terry Dickens because I think
that's not specific.
No? Okay.
I would love to give it to him. I really would. But Daniel Ridgway came in with the full. I mean, if it was just Jeopardy, right? Is that what's his name? Who runs Jeopardy?
Trebek.
Trebek would be like, son, get out of here.
Okay.
No. What's his name?
Okay. So Daniel Ridgway, please get in contact with me behind the scenes or Raken behind the scenes. We'll get you into the Green Room for a single month.
Or just message support@greenroomuniversity.com. That's the easiest way.
Okay. So we kept Nicole State 12 minutes over an hour promise. Nicole, I do want to tell you, thank you so very, very much for being on our show. I can't believe what you've brought. You've brought 525. Raken, that is now the max.
But you know what?
That's insane.
I went to college, but I never really studied anything to do with math or, I was never a mathematician. I mean, that you had 500 people following, but only 354 people liked it. So what do they have to do right now?
Have Nicole ask them, like the video. Let's see if we can get that thing
over 400 Let me do my best Raken Profit.
Oh God.
Oh, please, no.
Smash the like button. That's what you say, right?
Put some bass in your voice.
I don't have any. So, okay, do you do it, Raken?
Authoritative.
Come on, Raken. Do it.
Smash that like button.
Yeah.
There it goes. It's going. It's almost. I want to see 400, and we're off the show. And by the way, 527 was the number confirmed by Pinching Pesos Deborah, who also has a YouTube channel. Go check it out. 527 is the number. So that is the official number to beat from now. That's gonna be impossible. Wow. Okay, so
holy moly.
407 with 7 downvotes. I'd say that's a successful show. Nicole, last time I tell you this, but thank you so much for being on our show.
Thank you.
Hopefully it won't be the last time you're on our show. We definitely want to see where you end up with the Amazon thing with Reezy. I want to see. I'm pretty sure we'll see. Everyone's going to see it through your YouTube channel and through Instagram. But thanks for being on our show. We thoroughly enjoyed what doesn't even seem like an interview because it seemed like just fun hanging out with you.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Nicole.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, you guys. I've been wanting to come on for a while, but I didn't ever ask. That's the problem. So
that's the thing, though. You work so hard, and we got this. We saw you. We found you, and we were like, we need to. Like this girl is uploading all the time. It's super amazing, relevant information, and it's different. Like it's women's clothing. It's different stuff than when she's doing vlogs. So anyway, thanks for everyone to keep it real in the comment feed as well. I'm sorry we couldn't get like a massive Q&A going, but this feed was so fast, and I really wanted to get some really interesting questions out of Nicole Dunn. We've covered donuts, sledding. We've covered swimwear, leather shoes, all this really fun stuff, and this. Best match thing, which is interesting. I've never heard a guest talk a whole lot about best match with eBay, so that was really
the stale inventory report too. That was pretty interesting.
Yeah, really, really good stuff. So if you did like the show, make sure to hit the like button. Okay, after the fact, because we'll see it, and we'll see you on the next Green Room Hangout. Take it easy, guys and gals. See you later.